is a view of the light, a fire burning through the night. Oh, we rise, we shine, we take the fight. Oh, a view of the light.
Okay, a funny thing. We're going to have to pretend that I have a lighter and some smudge because I forgot to bring one. So here we go. Oh,
Okay.
Oh, it smells so good there.
I can smell it.
Lighter.
Yes, thank you. See, share, spread it around. We got this. Hello, one and all, and welcome to another amazing adventure on Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light. What I like about this is sometimes our guests get to have more adventures than me, and I love to hear those stories, don't you? So today we're celebrating the return of author Susan Manano, who has released her book, Spirit Walker. Before we had her on and we were talking about the release and the audio, now it's been released. But before we jump into that juicy material, I would like to invite you all to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our Facebook page so you can stay tuned. Actually, we forgot to pick someone who's going to pull a card, but stay tuned to the end and we're going to pull a card for next week. Somehow we'll figure it out between now and then. And so who's going to be helping me figure that out? Well, let me introduce you to my radiant and inspiring hosts. We have Rhonda of Cerulean Straight.
And I have the card.
Okay, that's it. That's Rhonda. Thank you, Rhonda. And then we have Teresa Clan of teresaclan.com. And we have the self-love coach and Simone Johannesson. Woot woot. So today who am I? I'm T-Dubs. I'm Teresa. You can call me T-Dubs. I've been here the whole time. But let's get back to the reason we are here. And I would like to invite all of you to join me in welcoming the return of Susan Manano to our show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a joy to be here and an honor to return. Rhonda, were you going to read a card for us this morning?
Later on, I will be doing it. So.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, it's an honor to be here. So, yes, my book, Spirit Walker, is now out. It's on Amazon. Thank you for putting the website up. That's where you can find my book at my website, shamanwalks.org. The audiobook is on Spotify. What a learning curve it was to be in the studio and record. Oh my God, listening to your voice as you're talking. It took over a year just to kind of me get used to that. The headphones, the sound studio, the whole thing. Beautiful learning experience. That's when I decided to print the book. And just to back up a little bit, I never really considered myself an author. I consider myself more of a soul reader. But the book rather channeled itself through me. And it's not something I sat down and wrote. I would sit down like it was a journal entry and I printed. And I wrote what kind of came through. Sometimes a week would go by, a month, who knows how many months. I'd write a little bit more. It's rather interesting to me how it kind of did link itself together, right? So that's where sitting down, being in the studio helped me quite a bit to put it together, to kind of divide it into chapters a little bit. And of course, it's about my teachings when I worked with Ruby and Warren. We chit-chatted about them earlier today. They are the main characters. Here's a very big copy of the book, Spirit Walker.
I love the cover.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is the first edition out. So when it came out in an 8x10, I'm like, oh my God. So I have 10 of these for sale. You won't find this size on the website. It's much bigger print if you
Oh,
like the
nice.
bigger print. But
Yes.
again, like being in a studio, it's take one, take two, take three. This was take one, and it was just kind of shoot from the hip. Here it is. Take two. We put more parentheses around when Ruby is grandmother wisdom in the book, and Warren is eagle eyes. That's the version you'll find on Amazon. The second edition will be out soon, which is still the same book, where we're now putting their words in italics, and it bolds it out a little bit more. And we're kind of putting spaces between when they talk and when I, ask the questions. So it's the journey of how I became a soul reader, and I caught it in the book. I catch my how naive I am, how innocent I am to this whole world of awakening. I was in my 20s. That was like 40 plus years ago. And so here I am today. So here I am, blah, 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 blah. Is there any questions?
Well, yeah. So that experience that you had to been so transformative. Will you tell us? Don't you don't have to give away what's in the book, but share with us like the transformation that you went through back then and carried into today. And what I kind of want to know, did all of this deepen you so that you can open the Akashic records and do the soul readings? Was that what was happening?
It was happening. And Teresa, I was in my 20s, when I met Ruby and Warren. So at that time, a lot of it was whoop, right over my head. I'm like, what are they talking about? Right? I was reading more books on shamanism. It's all one and the same. It's all one and the same. It doesn't matter, what really kind of philosophy you come from. We're all talking about the universal life force that sustains us all. So it did deepen me. I had already gotten my first Reiki initiation in 1980. I met Ruby and Warren 84, 85, 84, I believe. Reiki was something I really didn't hear anything about either. The woman, Barbara West, she had a free talk the evening before the class. And it's like, when you hear these words, and I know we've all had these experiences, you know what they're talking about. You just kind of know at a certain level what's being said, right? So you get it, but for me to fully grasp it, let's fast forward because I really didn't start offering soul readings. I mean, when they told me that back in the 20s, I'm like, you're crazy. and I'm like, I'm not going to tell the world any about. And, there was the pocket full of excuses. I got two boys to raise. I'm a wilderness ranger, all this ego stuff that came out. So at the end of being a wilderness ranger, the year 2000 was my last year in the Red Buttes Wilderness. Red Buttes straddles the Oregon-California border on the Siskiyou Mountains. Beautiful, diversified, magnificent place. Those last few years of working there, I stood on the ridgetop saying, I'm ready. Not really knowing I was saying I was ready to do this, but that's where the transformation came. So the book takes place in a sweat lodge, which I actually did in 1993 with two Native American women. And so as you read the book, the flap to the lodge opens or the flap to the lodge closes. I'm having these visions, these shape-shifting experiences in the lodge.
Wow.
Which then I captured and used the background of my wilderness experience because that's where Sweat Lodge was in 93. I'd already been a wilderness ranger for about 6 years then. Things started to gel because when you're alone in the wild for days, for weeks, into months and years, your senses heightened. The trees talk to me. The lakes talk to me. I started channeling different entities. I capture that in the book. Protector of the Light came to me at top of Aspen Butte, Mountain Lakes Wilderness. The Water Barrow came through me, headwaters of the Rogue River and Sky Lakes Wilderness. Kajiwa, this very old elder woman, came to me in Red Buttes. And so that really started to cinch in, again, fast forwarding. Everything then was really starting to drop in now. The year 2000, I said, enough because I'm ready, still not knowing what I was quite ready for. Right. So I took all these kind of odd jobs and nothing really kind of fit. Right. Until finally I'm doing these spiritual conferences and I'm like, this fits. Right. This. And, to kind of let go of your world, your known income, and to totally let go, let God, let the universe. That's what happened. We were also guided, my
You have a lot of
husband and
courage.
I, to jump in a motorhome. And I'm pointing over here. We're on our son and daughter-in-law's beautiful 5 acres out here on the Sandy River Gorge. And we let go of everything we owned. We put everything in the front yard. We didn't sell anything. We gave it all away. Hardest thing to give away with the stack of books that I had on shamanism, channeling, new age, all that stuff. And a girl came, we had a bench in the front yard and we were putting books out on it. And here I can't take these books with me. The motorhome's only 28 feet long, 2 slide outs. It's not a big, it's a box on wheels, right? And so when she said she was looking for anything on shamanism, be still my heart. Well, it's like, have I got the books for you? That really started to pave the way for this is the work, we've come to do, going where guided. We landed, it's interesting. I was born in Portland, Oregon. When I was 6, my family moved to Klamath Falls, Oregon. That's where I met Ruby and Warren. You could see Mount Shasta
Really?
from Klamath Falls, southeastern Oregon. When our kids reached school age, met my husband, had our kids in Klamath Falls, met Ruby and Warren in 84. We moved to Ashland to raise our kids in Ashland. And we left Ashland April 1st, 2012. So I've been on the road that long. I preface being in Portland when my mom's health turned. We landed back here, of course, to be with mom. She passed away 2 years ago. We're still here. So wherever the next place is for us to land, if it's here, God guides. It was fun to, like I say, be in Welch's yesterday. But yes, the book Spirit Walker is about my journey of how I came to be. So here I am, in my 60s plus, almost 70s. I'll be 70 this year. Thank you very much. And thank you. And so, it's like, it was a long time coming. So there it is. The book is very short. It's 117 pages. It's a quick read, and yet it's a slow read because there's a lot in each chapter. There's a lot in each page. So I've been guided now to write a book more about my experiences as a wilderness ranger.
Yes.
Thank you. This captures some of it, but I don't really talk so much about living with the bear. And of course, that's why I put her on the cover. And of course, a lot of experiences with Eagle. Well, I gave Warren the name Eagle Eyes. And this magnificent deer, I saw this, you're going to love this story. There's a place called Phantom Meadows in Red Buttes Wilderness. It's the headwaters of the Middle Fork of the Applegate River. And I saw this magnificent golden deer. I was coming up, and Phantom Meadows is this series of springs. It's kind of a bog, and I've seen bears there. I've seen a cougar there. I've seen much wildlife. But this golden deer, it just stood there, and we had this magnificent eye contact. Time stands still when those things happen.
Yeah.
So that's why the cover is the way the cover is. So blah, blah, blah. I hope I answered your question there, Teresa.
Hey, I'm really in it for the stories. So yes, no, I love, you're bringing back memories because I have extensively camped in the areas between Washington and all the way up and down the coast. Well, not the coast. It was the 395, that highway 395. And so I've been through Lassen and having all kinds of little experiences, but I really didn't know what I know now. So sometimes you can remind me of something like that. And I'm like, oh, and stuff. So yeah, those special moments and the views out there, Mount Hood and Mount Shasta, and there's that other Mount Rainier when you're up part of. I've been to Klamath Falls, so I'm over here so excited. But I guess what I'm really wondering though is the two things you do, they're so exciting. So let's define them. What is a spirit walker? And then what is a soul reader?
That's a very good question. I landed on the name Spirit Walker because when I got to the Red Buttes, well, even before, when these different entities were coming through, I was walking miles and miles. And when you're alone in the wild like that, again, your senses are just peaked. When you're sitting in certain places and you're just kind of like, call it the magic, as my granddaughter calls it, comes through. I really didn't coin myself a spirit walker then, but I was walking in spirit. Spirit's alive in all of us. Spirit comes to life. We see our reflection through the trees, our reflection in the lake, all these things. The earth is so very animated. We're trying to keep up with our greatest teacher, Earth Mother. And so Spirit Walker is feeling the spirit of the land, the spirit of who we are manifest in a physical body, which really attunes with our light body, right? So it's our light body that I feel comes down into our physical body, and we're more animated, we're more alive. Say we're more pure. We're still kind of working on our ascension collectively. So you feel the spirit of the land through your feet, through your heart, through your power centers, your chakras. Soul reading is something Ruby and Warren told me. Yes, connection with the Akashic record. Yes. Also connection with your soul contract while you're in the body at this incredible time on this beautiful planet that we walk. Right. So it's our contract. Oftentimes, I find that energy will just naturally move into past lives because it's weaving together what from those past lives is most pertinent to your personal evolution, your own enlightenment, your own alchemy, and the ascension of who you are. So really, Teresa, they're one and the same, if you will. Words are words, right? Right. But it's that ultimate feeling, when, you look at a mountain, you look at a sunset, you get goosebumps. The magic happens in you. You're connecting with all of it because we are all of it. It pulls you out of your body. Mostly the path that we all walk is like Native American people. Aggie Baker Pilgrim reminded me the longest journey is out of the head and into the heart. The heart knows all, head gets in the way. We're lost in thought a lot of the time. We're not here in the moment. So here we are together in this moment, talking about spirit, the light that sustains us. That's love. That's the alchemy of who we are. So words, yes. I feel that the energy of a soul reading just brings us into this place of our purity. And if it's only moments in time, those moments start to connect up, and we're not getting as lost in our thoughts, because our thoughts can be way over here, and our thoughts are mostly of the past, and we kind of tow that forward. It's like the ball and chain, and we respond to our world from our yesterday instead of being in the now and responding to what's here and now. That's what I love about the monks walking, right? The piece. It's like you can feel every single footstep. I have not met them in person, but don't you feel like you know them? And look at their feet. They're bare feet. It's like more of them are in shoes now. The one gentleman lost his leg and he said he was so humble, he did it for peace. The other older man that was crouched over with the two walking sticks, oh my word, he left and went back to France. But he made it through 82, 81 days of walking every day. So their journey, I love it because they didn't tell the world they were doing it. They just went and did it.
Yeah.
And it took us a moment to catch up with them. And so now everyone's coming out, and the leader who has that vest with all those, or the shawl with, he's got all these badges, it's like sheriffs, police, even ICE have been giving him, so they're breaking barriers. And that's the beautiful thing of really the harmony and the peace that's bringing us all together. So you could call them
what a special time. Isn't this a special time that they're doing that? It's got all kinds of spiritual repercussions. I love it.
I truly do. And I've got friends who on the East Coast who, maybe they haven't been exactly where the people are walking through, the monks are walking through, but they're traveling to go see them. And
Yeah.
it's like Jesus in the resurrection once again, the crucifix, if you will. It's like, whatever, we're all coming together because we feel that light. We feel that love, and it's bringing out the peace of who we are because they're so incredibly humble. They're not carrying any food or water. Whatever
Yes,
is
that's right.
provided is, and everything's being provided. And that's life. That's living. That's a spirit walker.
Oh, beautiful, 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 Susan. Listening to you speak, it's like I'm feeling, paying attention to your words, but also the spaces between your words, like the spirit that weaves it all together. And I think the book you wrote is probably, there's a lot more that you didn't write, or what's through, like in between the sentences on the written page, where we could find ourselves there if we read it with some amount of intention, of awareness there. And I think for me, what that actually ends up being is you can read it today and then reread it later on, and you meet different aspects of yourself and different truths in the book. Oh, I'm getting those angel bumps. Yeah. It's got to be true.
Angel bumps. I love that.
Oh, it is. Well said. Well said. Yes. When I was in the studio recording it, it's very raw in that there's places that still bring me to tears, right? And I let those tears flow. There's times where I just got choked up. Even yesterday, reading a small little passage, tears come, right? It's those spaces between the words, as well you said, so well said, where the light comes in, or whatever the meaning, whatever it is. We don't need to even put words around it. I mean, just to pause, in that moment, and still just reading it today, that it just brings those angel bumps all alive in me, because in many ways, they're my words, but they're not. They're my experiences captured in words that don't really define the true meaning of what it really is to be alone in the wild all that time. And, I get thirsty for it. And, it's because it's that side of self where it's just you and spirit, right? It's just you and the land. And of course, I wasn't like walking with no food or water. I carried everything, on my back, which was another virtue too, because, sometimes you get really hungry. So you're like, okay, well, maybe next time in, I'll bring this, that, or the next thing. So I had a lot of creature comforts along the way. But the beautiful spring waters, I literally would belly up to them and lick out like an animal, because they were so just yummy, and you didn't need a water purifier. They were just source, just liquefied up. Like, you go to Mount Shasta and you go to the city park as the headwaters of the Sacramento River, but there's all those springs, right? And Rhonda's like, yeah, I've been there. And
I've got a bottle of water right here.
Yeah, and I got one right there.
Yeah.
You just dip into that, and it's just, and there's 7 springs right at tree line all the way around the mountain. A lot of people talk about St. Germain Springs. It's a very popular one. There's other springs that aren't quite as popular. Cold Springs gets some visitation. It's around the backside of the mountain. But Spirit guided my husband and I to go to all these 7 springs. And what an arduous hike that is, because it's like walking on a moonscape. You're just at tree line. And we'd be going up and over these ridges, and since it's volcanic, it'd be literally 1 step up and 3 steps back, and your boots would get full of sand, and you'd be dumping out, all this sand. And my husband has this uncanny way. He's called the way seer. And boy, it's like, the spring's over there. And I'm like, okay. And, up the mountain, over the ridge, hump the backpack over because you can't make it over, pick it up, and away you go. And there's the spring. And there's these beautiful little mimulus flowers, just dainty little yellow flowers that just grow around these springs. And they're very quiet. Like the ones around the backside, they bubble up, but you can't really hear them. And I kid you not, every spring has a different flavor to it.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And so it was, boy, that was a while ago when we did that, but quite a powerful, powerful. We didn't do it all at once. We kind of hooked up 3 and kind of went back. And then we'd come around, drive around the other side of the mountain. There's a lot of access actually, and kind of hook up a few more and come back. And, like I said, very arduous walking, but every step was worth the wait to find the magic that awaited you at the end of the yellow brick road. Yeah. All right. Any questions?
I have just
Go ahead, Teresa.
Yeah,
I was just going to ask about altitude and connection to spirit. Do you think there's a correlation?
Yes. Yes. I was used to being at altitude all the time then. When I get up to altitude, and I'm speaking about going up to Timberline Lodge, it's a different beast. It's like my legs were heavier the last time I was up there. I'm like, oh, okay. A little older now. Yes, I don't hang out in higher elevations. We live down here in the Sandy River Gorge. We're at 500 feet elevation, right? In the wilderness, oftentimes I hovered right around 5'2", 5'5", was kind of the average, because a lot of the wilderness areas that are saved are, it's mostly mountaintop. You don't have a lot of the lower rivers, creeks, streams, and whatnot. It's like they've saved this where they could have saved more. I say they, we, but anyway, there is very much a correlation to being up in thinner air, being in the quiet of it all, less vegetation, if you will. There's a piece that comes over me that I think a lot of people might feel. There's these extreme hikers that get up there. Well, I think they have a purpose in that. I want to divert just a little bit. My Aunt Rhoda, my grandfather's sister, generation like right around the turn of the century, 1900s. She lost her husband and 4 children. She joined the Amazons back then. The avid mountain climbing group, I think, are still alive today, and it was her healing. For her to be up on mountaintops was her healing. And she gave me this challenge, which I will probably never meet. Cascade Range, from Lassen, Mount Shasta, on up to Rainier. Three Sisters is in Central Oregon, Bend, Oregon. North, south, north, south, middle, and north sister. Faith, hope, and charity, the mountains are called. She did all 3 of them in one day, right? Now, I've climbed South Sister, and she told me when you get to the North Sister, she needed ropes because it's got this little rock wall on top, and she got up there. So here's my Aunt Rhoda. Back in the day, women could not wear pants. So here she is in this dress with these boots that come up to her knees, all these like petticoats and everything. Try to envision, right? And she's climbing South Sister down, hike over, Middle Sister down, hike over. Pacific Crest Trail follows on the east side of the mountains to get up to north, to then rope and, belay down the other side and come out. Well, my younger son and his partner are such avid hikers, mountain climbers, you name it. I passed the challenge on to them. But I do believe, to answer your question, that yes, for her being up in the silence, where you're just depending on yourself, your breath can guide you. It was her healing after losing her whole family. So for me to meet her, fast forward, I was a wilderness ranger. I was in my probably late 30s, early 40s, when I had met her as a kid, but I'm, 3, 4, and 5. And, we left Portland when I was 6. So to meet her later on, and my mom said, you need to go talk to Rhoda. And what a talk it was. So again, an elder reflecting to me her experiences of being with a group, but still, even in a group, you're your own entity. It's your strength. It's you and the mountain. It's you and the challenge. It's you and that thin air. It's you connecting to God, you connecting with the universal all that is. And so thank you for hearing that story. And on the note of God, my 5-year-old granddaughter, she sat at my desk before and she sees all these crystals and all this stuff. And she goes, Grandma, this is magic. She asked my son just last week, who is God? And he goes, I didn't know how to answer that. I'm like, yeah, Dad, how did you answer that?
Yeah, let us know. when
Yeah,
that
no, that's so
comes through.
exciting.
Oh my gosh, kids are the best.
They
Kids
are.
are the best.
They're the light beings coming in. Every generation coming in is more highly evolved. It's like these guys just came from another interplanetary, wherever they're coming from. They get it. She teaches me. I kind of sit back
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
starts the conversation. I'm like, okay, and
Isn't that right? I love it.
it is. It is. It is. So there was a little girl at the Phoenix room yesterday. Little Jamie, beautiful blonde hair, blue eyes. She's like a little angel, and she really didn't need to talk, even though she had a pretty good vocabulary. But she talked, through her eyes,
Oh,
and it was so precious, right? They're here to teach us our telepathy.
yeah.
We can just talk and say it. So. Yeah, I do believe, the mountains can awaken us, but we can have an awakening moment anywhere at any time. The other day, you're going to love it. I walked into the grocery store, and I say the other day, who knows how long ago the other day was, right? And, but I walk into the grocery store and I'm like, wow. And I don't know how long I stood there, but everything just was so animated in the moment. And I'm like, is this an awakening moment? The grocery store.
Oh my goodness.
If it was or it wasn't, something gave me pause for a moment, and that was a beautiful thing.
Right. What is that saying? What is it now? An attitude of gratitude leaves a space for grace. And so
Oh,
much of your path is clearly, feeling, grateful for the nature and, we're all antennae, trees are antennae, mountains are antennae. And when you start stacking those levels of reality, that's amazing. And I just got to circle back about kids. I remember when my daughter was 3 years old, we were driving down the road, and all of a sudden she just said, at 3 years of age, Mom, I'll look in your consciousness and you can look in my consciousness, okay?
oh, neat.
I mean, even I can't say that word properly from time to time.
That's cool.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, teachers, indeed. Indeed.
Oh my word. What's your daughter do now?
She's going to school. She's got a new cat we rescued from the SPCA. So she's a cat mom now.
Oh,
Beautiful,
nice.
beautiful. Cats are incredible. I mean, they're magic.
Yeah.
Talk about telepathy. I mean, they talk with their eyes, the way they blink, the way they stare at you, you kind of get it. If they don't want your attention, you get it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when they purr, it's so healing.
Yeah.
It's so healing. Before,
Magical beings. I remember once I had an out-of-body experience, let's just say, when I was in two places in two different times at the same time, spontaneous. And I popped into an area, and a cat that was my sister started walking toward me and saw me out of body, and then was kind
Yeah.
of looking like, who is, oh, I know, and turned around and walked away.
Yeah. Feel
So
safe.
the cat saw,
How
right?
neat.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow. That's a great experience. Thank you
I
for
love
sharing
that.
And I'm
that.
sure you feel that sometimes the trees are watching you.
Definitely. Oh my gosh. There were so many trees that I would just pause, and look up. There's in the lower canyon of the Red Buttes Butte Fork Trail, there's these huge sugar pine that are the size of redwood trees. I mean,
Wow.
huge. And, I would just have to stop and hug every single one of them, right? Or just sometimes, the trail would go through them and you're just touching them. And it's like there was a DNA memory bank, like I'd been there before, or they talked to me before,
Yeah.
or
It's
whatever.
like a portal they create.
Thank you. Truly, indeed, it is. And, it's just so surreal. High mountain lakes, to see your reflection in them. And, I just had to take my clothes off and jump in so many times. And I would do that. And I would sort of be on my back with my hands on prayer over my head and my feet
neat.
together. So I kind of look like this frog. And I kid you not, the lake would turn me around so the sun would be hitting me. So I started to play with that a little bit. It's like, I'm going to face all the, and it's like you're in a meditation. Your ears are below the water. You can hear your heartbeat. And
Neat. Yeah.
it's a placid lake, and it turned you around to face the sun. And, it was just, when I worked in Red Buttes, it was sort of like shifting gears down because it was newly designated. It was also a very arduous mountain range to climb. Not a lot of people came in there. So I'd go days without seeing anybody. That's also when everything became animated. Me, mostly. To listen to the trees. There'd be places along the trail, each trail that I would go in, where I would just stop, right? And I remember going in with a bunch of girlfriends, and we're chatty Cathy all the way down and I'm stopping and looking like, yeah, we're just kind of like, the communion with the land was a little bit different being there with friends, but it was still lovely to be there with friends and to share that experience with them. But I remember smiling at certain places where I would stop and commune for that moment in time. It's like, it was just what it was. And it's beautiful the way the land really talks to us. And you don't have to be in wild places. You can be in the remote biggest of cities and the land still talks to you, right? You can still stop and take pause. And so, and oftentimes I find when I'm in bigger places, bigger cities, I kind of envision, or I get this vision, I should say, of how the land looked like before everything was upon it. So, that's an
Right.
incredible sensation too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was keen to ask that because when Rhonda and I were at Mount Shasta with a group of people, what was that, Rhonda, 5 years ago, and edging up now, something like that. We could clearly feel the trees as like sentinels. Like, we watch, yeah, we see you. Yeah, you're okay, but just keep being okay here. I've experienced that close to where I live here in Victoria, BC too. And I think we
Mhm.
were also picking up Sasquatch essence or
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
watched by
For
something else.
sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
Have you experienced anything along that line, Susan?
Yes, actually, my husband and I early on were on a mission to find Bigfoot, and a lot of the wilderness areas we walked in were not wilderness areas at the time. We were going there specifically, wanted to be out there to write letters to talk about the uniqueness. We were in a place called, which is now the Siskiyou Wilderness. You can see Mount Shasta from the highlands. You can also get on the high peaks and see the ocean. You're just below the redwoods, kind of rise right up into. And we got to this place called Bear Wallows. And we were in the tent at night. And I told Gino, I said, there's a lot of eyes on us right now. It was
Ooh,
just this feeling that humans hadn't been there in quite some time. The trail was one arduous trail. It took us 4 days to get there. And the trails weren't maintained. So your backpack is catching,
Oh,
you're
boy.
going over logs, going up and over washes, detouring way off, trying to find an assembly of a trail, right? So, oh my God, we stopped at a place for 2 or 3 days. Just, I had to catch my breath. I was kind of brand new to backpacking, especially at that level. It wasn't like it was a walk in the park. It was
Yeah.
very arduous. And so to get up there, we're like, is Bigfoot here? You wanted to whisper, because it was so silent and it was so surreal. And wildlife hadn't seen human form in a long time, but obviously they sensed that we were okay because we didn't have any negative encounters. We saw a lot of bears during that trip,
Yeah.
but we're looking for Bigfoot. But it was more that energy of this is their home and we're the guest, maybe an intruder, right? Because it's like, who are you? And it's like, just passing through, honoring, all of who you are. And, again, we hadn't set with Ruby and Warren yet. This was in the 1970s. This was 1976, when we were just wanting to get to, when you could count the last of the roadless areas on your hands. It was like, oh my God, we were born way too late, right? Like I should have been a Native American then, when it was all, now we got these little remnants and we don't even know if we get to keep these. So we hit the ground running. Yes, to find Bigfoot, but yes, to really write and promote and be an activist to save the land. I mean, she's our greatest teacher. Yes, she's also our life force, our air from the trees, right? It's like the pure water. Like I said, if you can belly up and drink some water, Rhonda, when you guys went to Mount Shasta, did you go up to Bunny Flat? Did you go up? What's the meadow called that's up there above Bunny Flat?
Oh,
I know. It's on the tip of my tongue.
yeah.
I know.
We couldn't go to the meadows. We couldn't
Yes.
go to the meadows because it was still snow closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we went Bunny Flats.
Bunny
way
Flats.
Up.
Yeah.
We went
Okay.
up Bunny Flats, way up Bunny Flats. This
Okay.
is how stupid I am. I'm a sea level person here where I live. Always have been. Going, oh my God, I thought it was in better shape than this. Didn't realize we had driven up 7,000 feet.
Yes.
Didn't know there was a difference. Like, gee, I'm so out of breath. I can't believe it. Melinda, who's on watching the show today, and I both heard something. And the person that was with us, I said, Melinda, did you hear that? And she said, yeah. I said, what did it sound like? She said, it sounded like something to me. And I said, yeah. They said, no, it's just a dog barking. Well, we look at each other and go, that wasn't a dog.
No, it's not a dog.
And all the time we were up there trying to do whatever we were doing and dying because we were at 7,000 feet and above. You kept looking around because you thought something was watching you the whole time. But it was really interesting. And to watch how the trees twisted. So there's so much energy portals and everything out there. Like the trees would have twists in them going up the path. And you're going, yeah, this is really interesting.
Beautiful, beautiful. Panther Meadows.
That's
Panther
it.
Meadows.
That's it.
Yes, I've actually led a group up to Panther Meadows. There's actually people have built a medicine wheel up there, right? And if you go all the way to the top, where the road ends, there used to be a ski area there. There was once upon a time a labyrinth up there, right? So you could walk the labyrinth, and that's where you catch the trail down over and around to St. Germain Springs. So you're going to have to come back, in July when it's melted. I mean, nobody has much for snow this year, right? But anyway, give me a call if you guys return.
It's a good idea.
I'm Canadian, so I may not be going across the border.
No, I get it. I get it. Understood.
Yeah, that's it. So when you were up there, and where you've been, you must have seen, like, being up there with the clear night skies, seen other things as well, I would imagine.
I've never seen any spaceships per se, but those lenticular clouds that land on Mount Shasta. I mean, this place where Maida and Ruby used to take us, Warren was Maida, Moses, Abraham, Daniel, Elijah, and Ezekiel, 5 ascended masters into one. Oh my God. This place they used to take us, I would actually say back then, I'm like, here come the ships, right? Because there would be lenticular clouds not yet hovering around Mount Shasta, but they'd be, kind of everywhere else. I worked with this woman there, Miss Sharon Sahi, who actually did see ships. And she was waiting for her ship to come in. She was ready to, she was an incredibly wise soul. I mean, here's spirit for you in the body. I mean, when I met Sharon Sahi, she was blind in one eye. You wouldn't have known it. But she was such a character. She would wear a patch over her eye and she would dress it to capture attention. I mean, okay, so we're living in Ashland, Oregon, and she decides to come and visit us one day. She's on a Harley Davidson on flip
Oh,
and she's got all this stuff hanging off of it, literally no saddlebags, plastic bags hanging all over the place. She's got a cape on, she's got her patch on, she's got a helmet on, and she comes up and over the Mount Shasta, over Siskiyou Summit and into Ashland. We're like, who are you? Right? And she stayed for a few days, and boy, she loved to collect things. I mean, suddenly our house was full of stuff she collected. In her good intention, we had a free box in Ashland where you could just, donate a bunch of things. She gathered up a lot of things and she would take them back to Mount Shasta. And she always had somebody in mind who needed this, needed that. So she had all this stuff. So there's Gino helping her load up. It was an 850. I don't know how big this Harley was. And she's on her way back over and she leaves. And I'm like, who was that? Right. And she's like, I got to go. My ship's here. She would talk about that. Right. And she was just this most beautiful soul that, was very wise beyond her years, actually came with a beautiful sense of humor, a lot of tease, a lot of challenge, because you're like, who are you? Right. And yet, wow, who are you? In hindsight. So no, to answer long story short, I've never seen, any of the spaceships. But there's more of an energy, I feel, that when you're there, that if you just take time out, not to climb, not just to sit and be, for me, that's when I really kind of connect with whatever energies, are there. This one spring that we went to, it was really quite interesting because, a lot of people talk about the Telos people, the community that's within side Mount Shasta. And of course, there's many communities within side many mountains, the Tetons, St. Germain's Royal Teton there in Wyoming, inner civilization inside there as well, too. Anyway, it's like there's a crack in this upper spring. And when I was channeling there, it's like, come on into the crack, come on in to the center of the mountain. Oftentimes when Gino and I are sitting and communicating with Ruby and Maita, they take us inside the mountain. And it's like a amethyst cave, if you will. And it's like there's a spring that really sings. You can just hear it bubbling, echoing, off the stones and everything. So while I haven't physically seen spaceships and everything, it's like, yes, I totally believe in life on other planets and other galaxies. Of course, right? I mean, our mind just is trying to expand to capture what's already in the essence of our heart and in our soul, because we already know everything. I always say that this earth walk is the journey of remembering that which we already know, right? It's like these entities, beings, I mean, even the constellations themselves, shooting stars, are serving as a reminder of the depth of who we are. And when we really sit still with it, out of the head, into the heart, that's where I feel it the most, in the solitude, in the quiet, because the journey of remembering is really the journey of knowing. We all speak telepathically already. So let's get going, right? We can bilocate. Why aren't we doing it? We can. I believe our dreams bilocate us. We go here, we go there, right? We wake up and it's like, wow, right? So it's activating all that. So we're rather paving the way, just like our ancestors and teachers and everyone before us. I mean, Yeshua, Jesus, all of them, the ascended ones, they've shown us the way. We're kind of just nipping at the tip of it, I believe. So when we dial back to see our grandchildren coming in and the light beings, we're like, wow, okay, right? I mean, they get it. It's like, here we are. So, find the youth, sit with them, let them guide you. They are really our greatest teachers, as well as Earth Mother. And that's why we're here having these conversations, because to have maybe these conversations 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It was like, I remember when I first really started to channel and go do readings, like a lot of people would say, this is hooey stuff or whatever the word was they called it. Like,
woo.
like I have my own, thank you. We have our own world, but then we're kind of like teasing around in this one a little bit. And now it's just like cards are on the table, right? Oh, this is who we are and this is what we do. And it's a beautiful feeling, is it not? I mean, we're in an incredible time. It's like the scales are coming balanced. It's like we're awakening, we're paving the way, opening those portals of wisdom, and the light beings are coming up and grasping it and open it. And pretty soon, who knows if we'll even need the planet Earth any longer.
I guess that's when we get to go.
Just at that.
When our
It's
ship
special
comes
time.
in.
Yeah,
But maybe we are the ships, right?
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. I love that.
We're the ships.
We
for
could
sure.
do that.
And I just keep hearing, like spirit has our back, right? Just wants nothing
Always.
but our best, highest, most joyful expression. And that's one way that I'm listening to you speak, and I'm sure within your book is too. It's like a celebration, like you say. It's a remembrance of things like that are essential or important. So would you say there's anything that people would maybe find in your book that you would highlight that would be really relevant for people now, as we're, especially now, times can be seen as a little turbulent? Sure,
Yeah, we
we're
need
no
this.
longer 2025, and
Yes.
thank goodness for that, but we are moving on as well.
We are moving on as well collectively. Gosh, if there was any one message in there, I think the word trust comes through loud and clear. Trust your instincts, which is your intuition, and those gut feelings. A gut feeling is your solar plexus, your seat of power. I have a lot of conversations with Grandmother Wisdom and Eagle Eyes about what is power. And Eagle Eyes will say, that setting sun is power. Speaking your truth is power. And on the note of speaking our truth, sometimes I think, well, of course, we know the truth. When it comes to conversations like this, maybe with people we don't know, we kind of step around it a little bit. I know I used to, instead of just saying, speak your truth, Susan. Here's what you think. Here's what you feel. Here's what you know, but I'm still open to knowing more because I don't know it all. I haven't ascended yet,
Yeah.
right? I know I can bilocate, but I haven't quite done it. I also believe that the happier we are with ourselves, that's what regenerates our cells to keep us younger. I've read a lot of books. There's a book called Anna, Grandmother of Jesus, and it's a channeled book by Claire Hartstone. Heart Song. She lives in Mount Shasta City, and she actually has visions of going back in the past and reenacting those visions. And Anna lived to be over 700 years old because she knew how to regenerate her cells, though she never really looked a day over 30. For me, that really means, of course, we have those abilities. It was a whole initiation, this whole art of being. I remember, we remember getting initiated in the Isis temple, whatever temple. We remember my first Reiki initiation. Oh, I was like, I've been initiated. I've stepped into something more. So the book really talks about trusting, right? Trusting your power. It's really showing how naive I was in the 80s. Like, what is power? What is all this stuff? I mean, I'm questioning this. And I had to fast forward it quite a few years, again, being on the land when I finally got it. But only little subtle nuances, standing on the ridgetop saying I'm ready, not really knowing this was what I was like saying, okay, I'm ready to become that soul reader. When I made my first business cards, it didn't say soul reader on it. It just said Susan Manano. And then when I started telling people I did soul readings, they're like, what? And this is kind of like, gosh, 2004, 206, it's words. It's the feeling behind the words. So, I hope that the showing how innocent and naive I was in the 80s to capture that now, put it on the sweat lodge, kind of the flap opened. Oh, I got the lesson. The flap closed. Am I in the sweat lodge? Am I not? Am I awakening? Am I shape shifting? Did I fly? You know, my son wrote the I wrote the preface. My son, it was like 3 days long, and my son brought it down to 3 paragraphs and read it. And he goes, "Well, my mom says she does fly in the book, and I did fly in the sweat lodge that day." So, you know, again, it's that notion of letting go. And I believe we're all on that journey of just letting go of this
Mhm.
and remembering this heart space. And that's our soul speaking. And I love the fact that you call this spirit sessions because we all learn from one another. And that's the old cliche of remember the book, everything I needed to learn, I learned in kindergarten. All you need to read is the preface in that book and, you know, hold hands and stick together. And that's what we're finally collectively doing. I'm supporting you, and you. You're supporting me. We support one another. And wherever we are on the journey of the awakening process, to find love and spread love and be love. That's it.
So, Susan, thank you so much for being on
Woohoo.
today. Can
Thank
you
you.
remind everybody where they can find you for soul readings and where they can find your book?
Thank you. You can find me on my website, www.shamanwalks.org. When you come on, the first thing you're going to see is the book. Audiobook is on Spotify. Amazon has, again, if you have Kindle, Kindle Prime, you can listen to the book for free. There's a paperback for $12.99 and the hardback for $15.99. Keep scrolling down, tells a little bit about who I am. It shows all the services that I offer, but everything I do is sliding scale. So I have suggested prices on there. It's not about the money. It's about this that we're feeling right now. And this is what I want everybody to feel. Ruby and Warren always told me it's priceless, and it really is.
So wonderful. Thank you so much. I guess before we go, we promised you a card reading. Anne had to pop off. She wasn't feeling very well. So
Okay.
she's okay. She just had a really late night with her nephew. So today I picked the card out of the Sacred Forest in honor of you, Susan, by Denise Lynn. And it's the Fire Spirit Energy card. And this is talking about recharging yourself by connecting to the Creator, funnily enough, and staying grounded. If you see this picture, so don't people come and they go through your life, and some take and some give, but this is talking about really connecting to the Creator to recharge yourself, so you aren't depleted by everyday life, and staying grounded and connected. So you're connected from above, and you're connected to below, and to Spirit and to Gaia, and that's how we can recharge and replenish ourselves. And the Fire Spirit energy coming up to the year of the Fire Horse is pretty cool too. So,
Yes, beautiful card. Thank you for sharing that. Magnificent.
and she's standing there in the forest getting lightning. So that's scary enough too. So.
Connecting with spirit. Who knew?
Who knew? It's kind of I think it's figurative lightning. That's oops. But that's what I have. So Teresa T-Dubs, anything left to say to you before we go? And note that all of Susan's information is connected to the video podcast or the YouTube channel, YouTube video as well. So it's all there in the description.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's been so fun today with all of you and Susan, all those warm memories of such beautiful places and spaces. Thank you for bringing that through. I could think of a million shows if you just want to stick with us. We can have you on more episodes and have a lot more fun with this. I think they would like that too. So thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been a joy. Time always goes just like that. And I never knew, I always saw myself as an introvert. So it kind of brings me out, a little bit. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we got to do those little extroverted things now and then, and then
Indeed.
Thanks so much, and stay on afterwards. I'm going to end the stream. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next.
I got an announcement, though.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. Next week, we have an exclusive on the show. So next Sunday at 12 noon Eastern time, I keep forgetting the N, Eastern time, we will be getting firsthand news of what's coming up next year on the Breakthrough Show Network. Okay. They haven't started their new season. They start in February, but we are going to have some of the hosts. We're going to have, Jessica. We're going to have, Jessica Dugas. We're going to have Brittany Floyd, Trista Polo, Jamie Rich, who does a show that comes on right before our show. And
Breakthrough Network, yeah.
Rise and Shine Sundays and stuff, and it's really exciting. And
Beautiful.
And Ollie Dirix, Ollie the linguist. You guys remember Ollie? So he's going to be fun. So we're going to have Ollie on too. So come next week, and we'll get the exclusive news on what's new at the Breakthrough Show Network.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us.
This is a beautiful